up, ultra happy people? I am your host, ultra runner and coach Tanya, and I am here with your magnificent co-host, Andy.
Soon to be media manager again.
Hi guys, this is the last episode before we head out for our epic, like the ultimate epic adventure. We've been all getting ready together for a year. Like how wild it was. It feels almost like yesterday when I was sitting here, because I've been going through the past podcasts.
Well, you were only sitting here a year ago.
Not here, but I was going through the previous podcasts when we started, because I'm putting them out again in my personal Instagram now. So I'm kind of like going back and remembering when I was the first time in front of the camera or have a microphone here, and I was able to share with you all, first of all, the project, what was the crazy idea that I had. And I didn't know at that point how I was going to do it, if I was going to be able to do it somehow, how it was going to work out. I had just, it's going to sound so cheesy, but I literally just had the dream. And I said, we'll figure it out along the way. And here we are. We are just about to finalize the whole project that we've been working on.
To be fair though, you did have some expectations.
I did have some expectations, but definitely everything that we experienced this year, everything surpassed what I thought I would. And it was, really? Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the traveling, the experiences, each race, the getting ready. I mean, you've been with me along the whole way, so you know what I'm talking about. You've seen all the ups, the highs, the lows, and we've been getting ready together for this. So
you coming back moaning to me about it was just because you wanted to moan to me.
Yeah. I have to put in some drama on it because,
somewhere.
Drama sells. Yeah. So I need to make it up. No, it's been hard, guys. It's been hard, but I am so happy that we're getting this almost done. We have 1 week away. So this is our last episode of this season. This season was the longest season. I think we had 10 plus episodes in this season, which this is the longest. This is the longest I've been with no races or anything, as well, as we were saying last episode. So I feel great. I'm feeling totally 100% recovered. I am 100% recovered to go and do the last push, the last strong push, because then in a week I'm leaving literally in a week I am leaving to travel to Chile to Atacama. So it's going to be a grueling trip, as always, over 24-hour trip, hoping, fingers crossed, that we don't have any mishaps like we did in Antarctica. I'm leaving again with plenty of time. So the race itself is 6 days. But to be honest, the whole experience starts when you leave out the door, and you just hope for the best, that you get there on time, that your bags get there on time, that that nothing happens in that week. To be
fair, I mean, nothing can be worse than the last time when you go to Antarctica.
Don't say it.
That was like 2 cancelled flights, a delayed flight. You travelled half of South America to get there.
That's been my worst trip, even like not racing, but just in general. Like that's been my worst experience. And I was so happy that I was able to sort it out, and I planned ahead, leaving ahead with many days. And I did the same thing because I'm going again, sort of to South America again. So I wanted to have the same kind of days again, just in case, because that was perfect. I was able to make it right on time. So again, we are leaving in a week. The race doesn't start until the after I leave. So
the race doesn't start till after you leave. Really?
Like, leave the house.
Well, I would hope so. I would hope it wouldn't start before you leave, because you might be a bit late. You've been wired. Listen, you have been wired the past few days. I don't know what's going on.
I'm just so done. I'm tired. I have so many things to plan, obviously, because we were going to talk about that right now. And I'll try it also I've been trying to communicate all this to you. Obviously, I did it via the podcast. I also uploaded all the experience and the highlights of each desert on the YouTube channel. Also, it's trying to do some Instagram posts and TikToks and all that. That takes a lot of time and brain effort on top of the training and on top of everything else that's happening. So I'm trying to communicate as much as I can, but I'm sure that when I'm back, I will be able to probably do a little bit more of, when I can sit down and properly take the time to edit and to do more.
I would love that when you come back, that the first episode that we do, well, obviously it'll be about Atacama, but then maybe the second episode that we do will be a recap and a review of the Racing the Planet races, just to talk about it in general. Because seeing the past year, I mean, we've pretty much talked about everything that can be talked about, but I think it would be good for people listening to try and understand a little bit more about the overall view of it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than individually.
So you guys out there, you're going to have a month without me, or probably a little bit more. So
I'm going to have a month without you. Woo! I never said that.
Yay! So you all have a homework. Go back to the episodes. I've been doing the same. And if you have any questions, if you I want to be this a little bit more of a place where now we can chat and share, because after this project is done, what are we going to do? I want you to be part of it a little bit more this time. So definitely come in and watch the episodes and tell me what you want to hear about this, because we're definitely going to. And I feel also once you finish with a race or a project or whatever, you then have the time to. It's like when you go to a race, guys. Everyone probably, if you're a runner, you have a race, and then the race finished, and you're still in the high, and and having all these memories and all that. But then when everything cools down, you're able to reflect and think in things that maybe you didn't think at that time.
Appreciate it a bit more.
And even appreciate it, exactly. Yeah. And I've been also understanding and learning a lot from meeting you guys out there as well in the community. Again, thank you everyone for always that. If I see anyone out there that they're listening to the episode, they're listeners, or they follow this story, they always say, hi, hello, thank you for, or they say a funny comment that we said. And it's great to have that support, and we still want to have that. And so I want you guys to be more part of this story, which you've been, because I feel like you all been in some way. I receive all your messages when I am in the deserts. I want to say that as well. I really appreciate them. I read them with tears in my eyes most of the time when I'm obviously struggling in the middle of nowhere. And then just reading all those messages just really, because you're disconnected, and having that people that are just to know that someone is thinking about you, and it's sending you the energy and the good vibes, and it's just, you feel way much stronger in mentally wise. You're I cannot pull out, or I cannot be weak, because these people are looking or they're cheering on me, and you feel the cheers, because in a marathon you have people there cheering, or you have the your crew or whatever. In these ones we don't have anyone, so you guys out there are my crew, my support system, and reading those messages are great. So you will be able to leave messages, and again send me all the cheers. And for these last desert, Atacama, I'll put as usual the links. That's where media manager Andy will be handling for the next weeks. So he will be posting a little bit of updates, whatever he is able to find from the race, some pictures. Obviously, I don't have any signal at all. And he will be posting there the link to obviously send me messages and be part of the adventure. And we'll come back and talk about it all. So without further ado, we're going to start with our favorite part of the podcast, our last Andy's facts of the season. Yay.
I can hear the cheers out there.
I know. We have cheers online. We are again on Instagram. If anyone's following me, just pop in.
Well, as I say, in spirit of this episode and the fact that you are about to undertake your next challenge, I had a good read at what runners should do pre-race in the week running up to it.
I love this.
Because
I'll tell you my pre-race
Yeah, but it's actually quite interesting because
It'll be
I looked at sleep and different things like that, right?
Yeah.
Just things that make it better for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And I even called this one listo. For those who don't know and don't speak Spanish, me included, as listo means ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
for the last dance.
We are ready. Right, okay, let's get started. So the first one is about sleep. So prioritise sleep quality before the race. A study entitled Ultramarathon Runners and Support Crew, the influence of pre-race sleep and training profiles on performance in a 217-kilometre mountain race, that's the title of it, by the way, found that athletes who completed the race had longer sleep latency compared to non-finishers. Additionally, those with good sleep quality in the weeks leading up to and trained more frequently suggested that the quality of sleep enhances training consistency and performance and confidence as well.
I think it's something that you're right. We've never talked about. You know how we talk about carb loading, like I eat or I try to gain at least 1 kilo of just, muscle just because I know it's because of the nature of this race or this challenge. It's going to drain me. So I'm kind of like trying to put that up, all my reserves up, glycogen reserves, my carb reserves all up. But that's a very, very important point. Sleeping is king. So if you don't sleep well, obviously your body needs that energy for the race, to live, to survive, whatever. So if you're well rested, definitely that puts you up in the upper hand. And before the race, that is super important. Not only the night before the race, but also the previous nights. I would say do a protocol of like a week of sleep, which is your usual taper, week.
I've got chat about tapering as well.
Oh, there you go. So you have tapering. So your load or your time in working out gets lower. So use that time to go and have an extra sleep or extra snooze or just relax, booking that extra massage, not a super deep massage, just a normal relaxing. And just that is a very good call.
When I was reading the information about it in the study in part, what I didn't realise is your body banks sleep. Mm-hmm. So what happens is because you're going to go into a situation where your sleep pattern is going to be completely disrupted for a week, if you can counteract that by 2 weeks of really good, strong, deep sleep, then what happens is your body banks that sleep.
Yeah, that's
And what it does is it gets you and your body into a position where it can handle a wee bit better sleep deprivation.
Yes, exactly. It's like banking on, like you said, exactly. It's like filling up your levels of energy. But exactly. Well, that's very good.
There you go.
I never thought, you know what? Again, I always think people kind of know this and then I do it myself, but it's great to have you here.
This is the point of Andy's
This is your job.
This is my job. I love it.
You're doing a good job.
Okay, so the next thing is about nutrition. So implement strategic nutritional loading.
That's your favourite.
From the International Society of Sports Nutrition position stand, recommends that athletes adopt carbohydrate loading strategies 48 hours before the race to ensure glycerin storages are fully replenished. During the race, consuming 150 to 400 calories per hour, tailored to individual factors like body mass and pace, is advised to minimise calorie deficits. Runners should consider the quality of calories, also ensuring that where possible, eating calorie-dense foods to ensure nutritional values are met also.
And this is your favourite time pre-race.
But interestingly enough, right, when I was reading it, when in that section where it says about the calorie-dense foods, I think for a lot of runners, and even yourself, what you've got a tendency to do the 48 hours before your race is go for the things that you love.
Yeah, because it's like
for example,
no guilt. You should never eat with guilt, right?
For example, pizza or Chinese food you've done before.
I can't.
But what you need to supplement that with is calorie-dense foods.
Yeah.
So things I think bananas are considered calorie-dense foods. So eat bananas, avocados, all those things again, and it's for your calorie bank. So what it's doing is it's banking
Same
those
as the
calories.
sleeping, you need to bank on nutritious food, nutrients.
You're going to lose that many calories over the course of the week and running anyway. The important thing to do is pre-race, the 48 hours, is get those foods. It doesn't matter.
And during the race,
get also those calorie-dense ones. Try and get potatoes into things like that.
And it's saying during the race to also eat 150 to 400 calories. That is a great rule of thumb when you can. Like obviously if there's a race that you're going to have checkpoints or you can carry, your food. In this case, in my races, it's much more important, or these kind of races, if you ever do a stage race or a self-supported event, that you do this even more, because you don't have the luxury of eating 150 or 400 calories an hour, unless you're going to carry 20 kilos in your backpack, which I am sure you're not going to be happy about that. So I am carrying 14,000 calories, and by for what my watch and I've tested in the previous races, I have burned around 35,000 calories that week. So I am going to be in a massive energy loss efficiency, and it is important to top it up as well. But if you don't have to do it, don't put yourself into that, because your body goes through a lot of stress trying to survive without, like, with so low calorie. So yeah, don't do it. But do it if you want to.
Yeah, don't do about that. Next one is about hydration, and actually it's something that we know, but something quite interesting in the end. So develop a personalised hydration plan. Mm-hmm. Proper hydration is crucial for maintaining performance during ultramarathons. The same position stand research study advises runners to consume fluids at rates of approximately 0.5 to 0.75 litres per hour, adjusted based on individual sweat rates, environmental conditions and personal tolerance to prevent dehydration and associated performance declines. Athletes should consider beginning a hydration programme a minimum of 48 hours prior to the race, placing the body in an optimal position for the start line. So actually, and it's almost something I learned on a half marathon, that in your head you're kind of thinking, oh, why did I get cramp at kilometre 18? I mean, I was drinking water, but
the day before.
But I actually needed to hydrate on the run up to it so that my body was full hydrated. If I'd done that properly on the 2 days beforehand, then my muscles wouldn't have had those problems, because when you get cramp, most of the time that comes from being dehydrated. Also,
there says consume fluids, right? But it's very important to just don't consume fluids, just like water, and that's it. Very important to add a little bit of salt or minerals, and to your hydration plan. So very important for salt as well. So hydration tablets are great, or there's also powders are there that have electrolytes, and they have different.
Well, do you know something I found quite interesting when I was reading about this? Is that it talks quite a lot about your sweat rate.
Yeah, there is a very different.
The interesting thing is, I then, being me, went and tried to research if there's something you can do to check your stress rate. Sorry, your sweat rate. Sorry,
there is.
And there is.
Yeah, there is.
And I thought that was dead interesting. So what they do is, it's similar to what you've done recently. You go to somewhere, they put you on the treadmill for 40 minutes, and then what they do is they manage your sweat from the moment you start running to the moment you finish.
There is very sweaty, salty sweaters, or not very salty sweaters. So you have to test it properly. And yes, there is certain places. I've been going to this altitude training center to train for altitude, and they do have that machine actually, or that thing. And they test if you have the possibility to go and test that in that like professional manner. Yes, absolutely. 100%.
I think for anybody that's just out there running and training, it's not necessarily something they need to do, but if they are going to take it seriously and start getting into running long distances, I think it's necessary.
Yeah, definitely. And exactly. Just start drinking prior your race, obviously, not only the day of the race. You all know this.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely something that I would consider. And even the 48 hours before, I drink water. I drink a lot more water than I used to.
Yeah.
Being here in Dubai, but I still know that I don't drink anywhere.
More so if you live in a place that is hot, us for example, it's super important to drink even more water. And again, water with hydration, supplement. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is the one that we all love, mental toughness.
That's my favorite topic.
So cultivate mental toughness and resilience. I think we've kind of touched upon this before, but mental preparation mental preparation is vital for ultramarathon success. A study called Mental Toughness and Resilience in Trail Runners' Performance found that higher levels of mental toughness and resilience were positively associated with better performance among trail runners. Techniques such as mindfulness, visualization, and positive affirmations in the weeks leading up to the race can enhance these psychological traits. Aiding runners in coping with demanding nature of ultramarathons, visualizations of the run and crossing the finish line are often the most commonly practiced, with a high number of runners claiming these strategies supported them through their tougher moments in a race.
Agree.
I knew you would have something to say about that.
I do. I think I said this before. That is my thing that I've done a lot, even since I was little and I was competing in swimming competitions. That's when I was presented with the visualization think about that you are in the race. Think of yourself winning, or in this case, finishing, crossing that finish line. And it's something that I still do until now. So when for example, this week, for example, I've been doing that a little bit. Like when I was in the weekend, when I went to a really tough patch in my training, or it was like getting really hot, I was like, well, imagine that you are in the race right now. And you are, you're going to need this mental toughness to put you through. And if you submerge yourself into the mind, that if you convince yourself in that moment that you're finishing, because I've seen the finish line, for example, of Cocodona. I don't know how the Atacama one looks though, but the Cocodona one, I know how it looks like because I've seen videos. And if you can see videos, it's really helpful because you can see how it looks like. So when I'm out there, I can imagine that finish line and then kind of turning that corner when you see it. And I can literally start crying because I can feel the feel that I'm going to be feeling that day. And I can just submerge myself. I can truly believe, like my mind is believing that I'm in that place and I'm crossing the finish line. And it feels so good. Like if I was having through a rough patch in my training, I was like, yes, I'm done. You get a second kick. Yeah. And it's definitely, it's good. If your mind already sees you in there, the possibility or the probability of you doing it is much bigger than you think if you're, questioning, I'm not going to do it, So it's, if you think I'm going to do it, I am there already, you have much more chances of success.
I guess that kind of ties in a little bit to something I spoke about in the past of a feeling that I never felt before, is that when I got to that 18K thing in my half marathon, and I got to the 19th, because that was the 18th was a struggle for me, and I got to the 19th and I was just like, I'm going to do it. And something kicks in that I've never experienced before. I mentioned it in a previous podcast. Something takes over you in the last couple of kilometres that just gets you through. Now, that's not a physical state. That's a mental state. It's a mental, yeah. That's something that your head just connects with the rest of your body and says, right, we're going to do this. And
that day that I went to my rough run, it was really rough because I was like, holy hell, how am I going to do this thing in 2 weeks? Because it was 2 weeks ago. I'm going to run 250 kilometers in 2 weeks. And that day, I couldn't even do 20. I was absolutely destroyed and I did 18 kilometers. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? But it's good to have those moments as well and know that I know now that I go through this patch all the time. But somehow, like you felt it, when the race starts and when that moment comes, something just clicks. And then maybe it's the experience that gives you that confidence of knowing that, it's fine to feel scared a little bit right now. You feel unprepared, but I know that it's just the normal feeling, pre-race feeling that you're like.
But that's like scared. The imposter syndrome.
Yeah, but I know I'm gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I know I'm gonna be fine in this last race in Atacama. What I don't know that I'm gonna be fine is in the other race, the Cocodona 250, because that one is definitely uncharted territory. Yeah. We have never been that far. We've never done anything like that in my life. So that is, but also I know that, I'm confident that we can sort it.
Do it.
So exactly. But definitely visualization, super important. And what was the other thing that you said? visualization, and also have not mantras, right? But for example, today I was like, I'm very tired. I have to tell you guys the truth. I am struggling. I'm very, very tired. And I felt this way for the last 2 weeks, to be honest, since that tough run in the trails. And today I am very tired, very sore. I know I have 1 week to go. So I had to go and put that backpack. That backpack, I'm having nightmares of that backpack at this point. I hate it with my life.
I'm having nightmares because all you do is moan about it.
I can't. I said I'm going to burn that backpack the moment I take it off in the last day. They put fires, right, in the camps.
Chuck it in.
It's going to go in. I'm going to absolutely chuck I hate it. So today I went out with my backpack run, which I was like, super moaning about it all the time. But then I had to change my mindset, and I was practicing. That is great, because as a moment where you practice, you're changing your mindset, because you're going to have that time in the race where you're going to have to be like, all right, say your mantras or say whatever kind of produce. So all what I did today was repeating myself. I'm blessed, I'm lucky, I'm strong. Literally the whole hour that I had to run, I put my eyes down. It was not a fun run today. I just put my head down, looked in the floor, and I just repeated that. I don't know how many times I said that.
What did you say?
I'm blessed, I'm lucky, and I'm strong.
Oh, is that because you were thinking of me?
Why?
Just because I'm...
Because you're what, pretty? Because you're pretty or what? So yeah, I was like, I'm blessed because I can do this. I'm lucky. Like, how lucky am I to be having this opportunity to, to go and run? One, to have the health to go and run it, and have the opportunity that I've done so many of those races until now. And I'm strong because I was feeling very weak again, because I've been struggling. Everything is hurting right now. I'm sore. So I'm kind of like trying to remind my body and my brain that I am strong and we can do this. So yeah.
You are strong and you can do it. I believe in you.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Okay. So next one is about periodization and tapering. So, structure training with periodization and tapering, according to the article Principles of Periodization and Ultra Marathon Training. Periodization, a structured approach to training that progresses from general fitness to race-specific preparation, can optimize performance and includes injury risk. Training blocks focusing on VO2 max development, lactate threshold improvement, and endurance are essential.
I think those are the ones that broke me.
Well, in periodized training, athletes go through different phases. Yeah. First one is base phase, that
not
builds endurance, not dying too much, builds endurance and strength with high mileage and moderate intensity.
Starting to die.
Build phase, which increases intensity with speed work and race-specific training. You hate that.
That's where I am. I'm done. Absolutely broken.
Peak phase, which maximizes fitness with the balance of intensity and volume. You hate that.
That's the one. Absolutely broken. Done.
And taper phase reduces training load to allow recovery. So for ultra marathons, tapering is used and typically lasts between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the race distance and the athlete's experience level. During this period, training mileage is reduced often by 30 to 50% per week. Intensity remains moderate. Some short race pace efforts help maintain sharpness, and rest and recovery are prioritised. More sleep, stretching and mobility work. Nutrition and hydration are fine-tuned to optimise energy levels.
Yes.
Studies have shown that tapering improves endurance performance by 2 to 6% by reducing muscle damage, replenishing glycogen stores, and enhancing mental readiness. And that wraps it up from me.
And that wraps it up. Hold on, I need to make a timeout. Someone's commenting about my hair.
Oh, yeah, is that a good comment?
Should we tell everyone this crazy hair story? Hold on, sorry.
Let's tell a story.
Okay, before this person leaves the chat. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna tell you the funny story before we continue with my hair situation. Yes, if you're watching, I had a hair situation. So I went to get my hair cut.
Which is a rare occurrence, to be fair.
Yes, but it was getting a bit too wild. I have a lot of hair and it's very thick. So what I usually do is I cut like the volume. I just ask the person to take off volume from the top of my head. But I went to this place. I just wanted like a cheap cut. Well, not a cheap because I didn't want a haircut. I just wanted to take off volume. Thinned out. So I just went to this place, like cheap one. I don't care. I'm not a fancy person in that. Fine. But the person didn't speak very much English. Probably that should have been like my
That's the first
red
warning
flag.
thing. Did you show pictures?
No, because what pictures?
that's a
I just
mistake.
want less volume. I
It's a
don't need a
mistake.
picture for that. Anyway, I'm like mimicking or doing with the hands gesture to kind of like show her what I needed to be done. I just said like I kind of touched the top, saying just take off volume from the top. Anyway, this woman just grabs my hair. If you remember right, my hair was very long. Grabs the top of the hair, the hair from the top of my head, and chops it all off. Like literally centimeter, like big chunk of hair. I literally jumped out and I'm like, what are you doing? No, this is not what I wanted. She already chopped it by that point. I said, just cut the ends. I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. Anyway, she cut the ends. It just ran out, whatever. And then I realized that the cut was really bad when I got home, and Andy's like, what the hell happened to you?
In a constructive manner.
So I was left with this like chunk of my head with like the tiniest layer. I look like a freaking mushroom, people. Oh my God.
The funniest part is when he tied it into a ponytail.
So if you've seen my videos, the last videos in Instagram, my ponytail, like you grab the ponytail and obviously there's like these hairs just sticking out because it's like that short layer. Anyway, ladies, you will understand that.
For anyone out there
my heart just...
that remembers the Rachel cut from Friends, remember?
Yeah, like that.
It was like that.
But in a bad,
but just
like Timo version of it.
Yeah. and no disrespect. But Rachel's got a thinner face than you.
Exactly. So I look like a mushroom with like a chubby face. And I'm like, this can't be happening. I'm going to be like racing. I want my videos to look cute. Probably I'm going to get to Mexico and I'm going to be doing some media also, appearances, so why not? And like, this is not how I want to look.
Media appearances?
Yeah, we got some... First Mexican crossing the deserts. Hopefully we'll have some.
Love that.
I'm gonna be around there. And I was like, this is not how I want to look. Anyway, yesterday I went to another salon to try to fix the mess. So this is the mess.
The result?
The mess fixed.
Looks good.
If you're listening, you're
looking young and beautiful again.
Yeah, well, very sad story, everyone. And yeah, that was all. Thank you for commenting on my hair. You obviously noticed that I chopped it up, but it was not because I wanted to, because it was,
necessity. Young and beautiful. That was like a TikTok chat yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Andy was saying that I was like asking Andy yesterday why we suck at social media. And Andy's like, because we're not young and beautiful. I'm like, what are you mean? Are you saying because of my hair?
I just said because we're rubbish at it and we're not young and beautiful when everybody else is in TikTok.
So sad, people. Anyway, okay, let's go back. Thank you for commenting on my hair. I hope it looks better because it's,
Yeah. And maybe it'll help you run better.
Maybe I like more aerodynamic. I'm carrying less weight for sure.
Carrying less weight for sure.
That is for
You've
sure.
got Mexican hair and it's the heaviest thing ever.
Absolutely.
And for those who know the struggle of Mexican and women with Mexican hair, there's more hair on the floor in our apartment than there is anywhere else.
Yes, I have a lot of hair. Like, a lot. You guys have no idea. Even the guy that cut my hair yesterday, he's like, what is this? And I'm like, well, I'm Mexican, man. Like,
Mexican hair.
Mexican hair.
We talked about that quite a while though.
So, yeah, sorry. That's deviating. But yeah, structures, periodization.
And tapering.
Very important, obviously. I have a coach. I'm a coach myself, but I do have a coach because I do like to have the input from a third party, like someone that's objective on it. Because I think if I start putting my feelings, which it's very difficult to separate your feelings from, I'm going to put my coach hat and just, it's difficult because you're the person. So it's like, you don't want to put yourself, I don't know how to explain
Do
it.
you know-
Because you don't want to do a surgery on yourself kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I would be biased a little bit in like the amount of volume or the amount. I would be like, oh no, I'm being too nice, or I would second guess myself as well a lot. So that's why I have a coach myself. Coach Sarah has been the coach through the whole
Big shout out
project.
to Sarah.
We had her as well
Incredible.
in the podcast in the first season. So if you missed that, again, go back to that. And she talks about a little bit of what the last point you had, the periodization. Very important. I am a coach as well, but I don't sell, or I try to stay away from coaching plans that are just, downloadable or, don't have that personal approach, because again, I've said it 100 times. I think training is so individualized and so personalized. And I love that we have, for example, our weekly calls. And with those calls, we are able to see how we're feeling, if the volume is right. I also have those calls with my own athletes as well, and that works a lot. It's great to ask if the training is right, the volume is right, or if they need some changing, or I don't know, if you have let's say I have athletes sometimes that work, travel a lot for work. That's also important to know the availability, if they're going to have a stressful week, if not, where they're trying. So just prepare for that within the frame of that periodization. So having obviously a nice graph going up. So putting a little bit more volume and a little bit more work, and then structuring it around the goals of that person as well, because not everyone has the same goal either.
Just something I would like to say, obviously, Sarah has been a big part of your journey, and I would urge anyone to follow Sarah. It's Sarah Scozzaro.
Yeah.
And she works for CTS, but follow her on Instagram, because actually the reason I'm saying that is I follow Sarah, and obviously I talk to Sarah as well. She talks a lot about strength workouts, and she talks a lot about, and she gives examples of them, and she talks about certain things to do with her runs, and I've learned a lot from her, even just following her. I would urge anybody on Instagram to follow her. She's absolutely amazing.
Really good Instagram, really good information in there. It's like very educational. So yes, if you have a chance, add her as well. So
and actually, follow us as well.
Follow us as well. Yes, follow us. Click that subscribe button in YouTube if you're watching. If you are listening in Spotify, just give us a wee star, write there something, only if it's nice. If it's not nice, just don't write.
Bother.
And podcast and Apple and iTunes. It's Apple Podcast, isn't
Apple
it? Yes,
Podcast,
Apple Podcast
Amazon
as well.
Podcast.
Yes, that will help. So obviously, the more stars or the more thumbs up or whatever subscriptions that we have, these episodes go higher, and we can get to more people. And then if we have more people, we can go to more adventures, and we can just keep going, and we can bring you all the fun adventures.
To be fair, I think we'll keep this going anyway.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Anyway, so we are, and then go up into your training, building up that time, and then also why I'm coaching one athlete actually right now, he's never done strength training before in his life, for example. He's been a runner all his life, but he's never done any strength training. So we had to bring down a little bit the volume so we could put in a little bit of the strength training, because it's something so alien to him. He has never done. His body, or even getting the time and the habit of starting to add strength work. So try not to add, for example, 2 or increase 2 of the indicators at the same time. So try to stay away from ramping up in strength and ramping up in volume. Just do 1 at a time. So ramping up strength, and then you go down in volume or speed, or so try to tone up just one of the kind of factors of your training. If don't do everything at the same time, or even 2, because you're going into like risky waters in there.
So good to see so many people getting into strength training now.
Yes.
We are.
I've been in the boat way before.
We're currently obsessed by Mr. Roach, aren't we?
Oh yeah, David Roach.
David Roach, and he talks a lot about strength training and
He was
his running.
he was a boy that was not into strength training until later in his running career, and now he's like, oh, why didn't I do this before?
And now he's winning races because obviously he's learning a lot as he goes, and he's a good athlete, and he's incorporating other factors. But again, that's somebody else I would urge you to go and have a look at. It's really interesting.
So that's one of the great podcasts I usually like to recommend, and that's the one of the podcasts I listen while I'm out there and away and we're in my trainings as well. So yeah, with that said, I am in my tapering week now that you know what's tapering, right?
I know that should really have been a nice transition.
That was a nice transition.
different
nice
chats about hair and all sorts.
So we're going into that week of tapering. It will be 2 weeks, sort of, because the next week, it's going to take me almost 3 days to get there. But I get 2 days to getting there, and then I'm arriving 3 days early. So that's a whole week before the race that is scraped off.
I just had this vision, I don't know why, that when you're on the flight, that what you do is you've got your New Balance on and you're just running around the aisles to keep you going.
That's my $1 million idea. I think someone should put like a gym in a plane. Just connect treadmills and then just let people, like you know how much time I'm going to be flying, people? The first plane is 13 hours, and then I have a layover of 11, and then I have another plane of 11 hours. So that's 23 hours flying. Sitting down. I don't sit down that much. It just drives me absolutely insane. And there's been times in my head that I'm like, in these 20, I could have run already 90K or 100K at this point. Just put a treadmill, just one, and then we can all be like, rotating. Yeah. If I could have 1 hour, Anyway, for me, it's
treadmill and a bike.
Yeah, just it's such a wasted time. I absolutely hate it. Anyway, so we're traveling 3 days, and then I'm arriving there 2 or 3 days and a half early. So that's, again, 1 week. So next week is going to be absolutely off and gone. And so this week is my last week of training. But I can start feeling the whole, even strength training. It was like yesterday was like only half an hour coming from 1 hour going into half an hour. And instead of feeling recovered, I'm feeling more tired, which probably is a good sign, because it's like, oh, your body's like, oh, now we can recover, and it's taking all that energy to recover yourself, and you may feel a little bit more tired and a little bit more hungry.
see at this point before a race, do you start to feel pressured, or do you feel like any pressure? Is there any anxiety going into it, like at this stage?
Not for the first race. So we have Atacama. So we're leaving for Atacama this is the race that we're leaving in a week. And then we have 4 weeks of rest. And then I am going into Cocodona. Right now, if you ask me this question, I am feeling very pressured, or I'm feeling nervous for Cocodona. I'm not feeling that much for Atacama.
But is that because of the familiarity?
Yes, I think I'm familiar. I know I'm going to be able to do it. Unless something, wild happens. But I know I will be able to, we've gone through 4 at this point. We've gone through good ones, bad ones, horrible ones, and I've been able to at least finish them. So I'm pretty sure this one, I will, again, touch wood, unless something really wild happens, we should be okay. But then the one that it's uncharted territory and I'm very nervous, that's why I'm feeling nervous and a little bit anxious, I think, it's Cocodona. Cocodona is absolutely, even the planification of it, I haven't nailed it at all. But I feel like I'm trying to balance or gamble with these two. So it's been really difficult to be planning for one when the other one is first. So I feel like I cannot plan for Cocodona because I feel like I need to finish, my energy and my concentration should be in Atacama for now. So I haven't done a lot of planification or planning
Planning,
into
yeah.
Cocodona yet. But
I
am feeling like I can see it in the distance, and that's the one that is just spooking me for sure.
I know that, see, obviously with Cocodona, because I'm going to be there as well as crew and pacing you, even I'm feeling a bit nervous about that. Because I don't know what to expect. I mean, what I am trying to compare it to is like the long distance runs that we do on a Sunday through the mountains and
like
stuff.
that.
It'll be similar to that.
It'll be slower than that.
But it'll be slower than that, yeah. But it's still, if it's unknown for me and I'm feeling nervous about it, then I don't know how you feel like going to do the 250.
But you know
251
what?
it is, isn't it? 252 we found out.
250 something miles.
You're like that, bloody 2 miles.
You know what I'm excited for? People, you're all going to call me a sadist for saying this. I may regret to say it. I'm going to regret saying it, but I'm going to say it. I am excited to feel that pain that I know I'm going to feel. I'm looking forward to it.
But will you not get that in Atacama?
No, not that deep. There is not. No. Because right when you're getting into that, which is like around 40 kilometers, you go to bed.
Yeah.
So you have that break. In Cocodona, I won't. There is no break. I may have a tiny break, but I'm going to have a break after 80 kilometers or more when it's like you've seen the videos. If you haven't seen the videos, I invite you all to watch some documentaries in Cocodona. The state of the people are like later on the race. That you can see them how they start and then how they can just start just going into that. I understand it because I've done 100 miles and I can only imagine just that twice as hard or 10 times harder.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that level of pain.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is excited for pain like this. Oh my God, I'm crazy. I sound like a totally crazy person here.
Do you know, it's funny as well, because we've watched a lot of the documentaries and a lot of the updates about it, and it's about getting prepared mentally, for it is one of the biggest things that we talked about earlier. But also not to be too tough on yourself as well. Do you know what I mean? Because what happens is you end up getting into a position where you have a battle in your mind about things. Do you know what I mean? It's a case of, for you, I think, just getting it out and getting it done. It's a case for me, being a pacer, to have thick skin, because God knows what you're going to be saying to me.
Oh, I'm going to be
because
down.
In fact, that's one of the really interesting things that I took from it. When you're crew and when you're a pacer, then you just really have to be there to support, not take anything personal, because you get to a point where just there'll be all sorts of things coming out of your mouth and
or nothing.
You feel, or nothing or whatever.
I think I'm the people that just shuts down.
Yeah.
And if you're asking me something, that's why I was saying that it's very important for me we'll have to organize how, and then we'll come back and tell you guys how we work it out, because I know myself, and I know I'm one of the persons that shuts down, and how we're gonna. It's good that you know. It's good that I know myself and I know how I deal with this kind of pain or things like that. And I know I'm just going to shut down. So we'll need to figure out a way to communicate as a crew, as something that it doesn't make me, again, talk a lot. We spoke about like color coding kind of things, so we can communicate during the race. So let's say if I say green, that means that I'm in a good spirit, everything is good. Like, don't ask me too much, because I know that's how it takes a lot of energy if I'm trying to explain, like, oh, I feel great, no good, or if I'm not good, and then you are asking me why you're not good. Well, because I just ran, 150. Like, don't make me explain why. Because my answer, because I am, like, just shop.
Yeah.
So just better don't ask me anything. Just wait, for the codes to see how I'm feeling. So some sort of like that. So it really comes handy that I know how I deal with those kind of situations.
Yeah.
But definitely, don't take anything personal, crews out there. I'm not a horrible person, but I know I'm going to be deep in the pain cave for sure. But I am, like Courtney said, which we're going to see her there. How exciting! I am excited to. I'm excited to get to the pain cave. Even before she put the pain cave idea out there, I didn't call it the pain cave, but I kind of had it in my head like it's a place. She called it a cave. But in my head was a place. So every time I went to a race, that's a place I wanted to get because I love that place.
Yeah.
And I think I love that place. That's the problem. That's why it's a drug. You just want to get there. But to get there, start before you get there with a 40K, right? Because that's your pain threshold or your experience when you're starting is you get there with 40. But then you get better and then you get to that place when you're 50.
Yeah.
Now I can run a 50 and I don't even get close to that place. And then you have to it's like when you're a drug addict and you need to start the dose has to get bigger and bigger because you get immune to it, and that place for me starts getting further and further. So I'm always going to be chasing it.
Yeah.
You keep chasing it. And when you get there, it's like, oh, I'm here. Like, whoo, this is fun.
It's really funny, right? Because even listening to when Courtney was talking about that on one of the podcasts, and then listening to you, and there's talk of the pain cave, and then there's talk and how you visualize that, and then there's talk of the struggle bus, and now I'm in the position where I've visualized there's like a bus stop outside the pain cave. And when you're on the struggle bus, you're on the struggle bus, you take your seat, you're dealing with it, and then you get off at the stop, which is the pain cave, and then you go into the pain cave and you sit there for a wee while until you're organised. Back out again. You get on the struggle bus till you get off your stop, and then you're fine again. I've got this total thing planned out in my head of what it looks like.
Love it. It's like that. Yeah. Even like I said before, Courtney gave it a name, like pain cave. I had a place. And it was funny because by that point, when I started running, as you know, I ran a lot in the West Highland Way. And it is so funny. I have when I think a struggle, when I think of a pain cave, again, it's not a pain cave for me, or it wasn't at that point. It's this place.
It's a pain cave for everybody now.
I know. But in that time, when I started, I had this place, and I can visualize it. It's a place that it's in the West Highland Way. And that's, I don't know, for me, it's that place. That's my pain cave. That's how it looks for me, which is like a nice hill. But for me, it was not a cave. It was just I'm in there. I don't know why. It's just my head just kind of. So whenever I'm getting to that really painful place, I'm like, oh, I arrived. I took the struggle bus.
I wonder, actually.
Now we're here.
That's a question for everybody out there. What does it look like in the pain cave? For me, it's like there's a wee fire there.
There's a house. There's a wee house.
Oh
my God. When we do the West Highland Way, I need to show you. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to show you.
Is it?
It's like a wee house. Yeah, it's a wee house and it's a specific part of the West Highland Way. And I don't know why. It
always comes to mind.
I've never been heard in that section, or it's actually a very touristy section. It's quite normal. But I don't know. I liked it. Yeah. That was my picture of the pain cave. It was not a cave, but it's just a place. I don't know. I like it. In
my head, it's a cave. It's got a wee fire in the middle of it.
Oh my God.
And then
it's like a caveman.
And then it's got some rugs knocking about. Rugs, so that you can sit on the rugs. And there's normally a couple of people sitting there just anyway because they're a wee bit worse than you.
Oh yeah, that's always one worse than you.
Yep. And then what happens is when one of them goes, then I need to go.
Ah, right.
So there's an order to it.
Yeah.
I know, and that's what's in my head. It's kind of dark and it's kind of lit up with the fire a little bit. And and there's one pillow.
There's one pillow.
And I can put my head on the pillow.
People, you speak like you've been in there for many times, and it's like your journey is just starting.
I know. I've been there when my knee was sore.
You've been I think you just peeked at it.
I looked round the corner.
Yeah, you're just hey, I'll be back.
I'll see you in there in a couple of weeks.
And I'll be back. No, I'm not there fully there. I'm not ready to go in. I'm just visualizing it. Cool.
But to be fair, I think it works for anybody that runs that's going through any kind of pain.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be you get a wall of some kind where you just can't get past it, and that's suggested about the pain cave.
I think the important thing is know that you're going to arrive there eventually, and the way that you are looking forward to getting there. Again, for me, I am very excited to get there. I am really looking forward to getting there because it excites me, and I know it takes a lot of hard work to get there. So for me, getting there is already a win. I made it here, and that takes a lot of work, training, time-wise. And again, for me, getting to the pain cave is going to be around maybe 100 miles. So, before it was really short. Now, even that for me is a win, like seeing the cave getting further away, that means also something for me. Like, I don't find it really fast.
You should keep your favourite snack for the pain cave. So when you get there and you sit down and you're in that pain cave and you're in the pain, then you can eat your snack and then that'll lift your spirits.
And then
see, I've got it all thought out.
Takis fuego. And also very important to know that you're just visiting that place. And I don't feel scared. Before I used to be like, oh man, I'm going to you kind of dreaded being there. But now, again, I'm excited to be there because I know I'm just visiting that place. I know the feelings go and come and go. So I know that I'm feeling, you're in the pain cave, you're struggling, you feel shit, whatever. But I know that in a couple of kilometers, maybe a couple of hours, maybe more than kilometers, it will eventually change.
Wait a minute. Does that mean I need to have a few different pain caves with different destinations and different decorations? Because I can't go to the pain cave, continue running, and then go back to that pain cave.
You will be. You go back and forth for sure. Yeah. It's like I call it, like take the wave, ride the wave. So if the wave is taking you down there, just go with it. If it's taking you up, go up with it. If you're going through a nice, hitting those running highs and feeling light in your feet and enjoy that moment. It's almost like people say, run that mile, run the mile that you're running in. And you hear that a lot from a lot of runners. And I think that's what they mean. Just focus in the feeling that you're feeling in that moment. And concentrate and really try to enjoy it. If it's a good high feeling, go with it. And if it's a really bad sucky feeling, also go with it. Have fun with it, because nothing is forever. I mean, in general, in life anyways. So again, a race or even more so ultramarathons are just example of life and life struggles, and in life and in races, nothing is forever. So just enjoy whatever stage you are in your race, in your life, whatever you do. Just have fun and do it with love.
Well, the pain cave chat brings me on to a question.
Yes. Raise your hand.
Do you feel like you have now in your head, maybe not necessarily written down, but have almost a kind of strategy for Cocodona? Do you feel you're at that point yet where you're able to have strategized?
My strategy is this one, that one. It's been always that when I go to these races, I just enjoy ride the wave and just solve how it goes. Just solve on the go. We have now the experience, or by that point, I'm going to have the experience of 5 deserts, really grueling challenges that I went through. And those gave me really good toolkits, mental toolkits, and just, ways that I know how to solve problems, how to talk to myself, how to manage myself. So I just need, again, to go into the race knowing that I will be able to solve it, and then just enjoy and solve on the way. Just don't think further than the mile that you have or the moment that you're living through. Well,
to be clear on that question, we will plan where we are going to meet points and potentially where you might sleep. Yeah. But I was thinking like from a mental strategy.
Yeah, for the mental is that I don't think I have my strategy is that one. Just ride the wave as usual, and then just know that you will be able to solve anything that's coming.
I think it'll be an interesting topic when we come back for the next series of the podcast that we say, did that work?
Guys, the next season is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to have so many.
I know. We'll have runner stories and
I need to write down everything that happens because I'm going to forget about everything. But yeah, you guys need to obviously follow. And we'll be hopefully posting more on Instagram.
The idea is what we'll be doing as well. We're out there. We'll actually be taking some footage as well. So we might try and do some lives and stuff like that, so that people can see it.
But definitely, you guys need to follow this. And that's my strategy mentally. And
we were actually talking that there's maybe a possibility of trying to get a podcast in pre-Cocodona, remember?
Yeah, hopefully. I'll try to record
to figure it out just
to say my goodbyes to you all and say that I appreciate all the support that we've got these past year. And this is it. We're just going for the final stretch. We're going through the final push. Is definitely going to be a tough one. It's not going to be easy for sure, but I think we're ready for that. And remember to just face all the problem solving that I'll have to be facing for sure. I'm going to be having to do that a lot. And just know that the mental toolkit, I have to approach it with glasses of love and patience. I was talking about this to a person at the gym actually the other day. Because they were saying, I can't imagine being out there because they are runners. In my training center, the guy is a runner and he was saying, I can't imagine how slow, like you have to be very patient. And that's exactly what I was telling him. It's all about patience. So attack and solve the problem with your eyes of love and patience. If you don't have those two things, I think would be your decision making would be a little bit blurry, and you would then make a bad, wrong decision, and then that can cost you the race. So I always try to really slow down, put my glasses of love, again, love for myself, try to be loving with myself, not be too harsh on myself, love the thing that I'm doing, just love in general, that's number one. And two, patience, just be patient with yourself. Know that the miles are going to go very slow, and that is okay. As long as you're moving forward, you eventually will get there. So yeah,
I think it's interesting for me and probably the listeners out there, is that we watch a lot of documentaries and we watch a lot of people about how they tackle it, and everybody tackles it differently.
Yeah.
There's some people that are so statistically driven and they have everything nailed down to the finest bit of detail.
Yeah.
And then you've got the sort of middle ground people that have got a balance of I'm really trained hard for it, I really understand my body, and I want to compete. And then you've got the people that like you, but
we just want to have fun and
well, that's what I was going to say. It's like you're going out there to enjoy it with no real expectations on yourself.
I just want to have fun in the pain cave.
But I love the fact that there's all those elements in it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it'll be interesting for me and for everybody else to see that out there.
Yeah.
And I wonder if after doing the 250 Cocodona, because it's completely different, whether you'll come back with a different viewpoint on it about whether there's things that you should have looked at, or whether you're happy with the fact that you just went in with an open mind.
I think if either way, if I complete it or not, I think I will come back with a lot of learnings and a lot of things that, that we're going to learn on the way.
Because I think there's something that we need to admit with Cocodona, and we haven't necessarily come right out and said it. When we really start thinking about it, we do get a wee bit scared.
Yeah, I'm absolutely terrified.
We do get a bit scared about it just because it is the unknown and because it's different and because all the stories here. But I think that that's a good thing as well.
I don't know if if you ask me right now, Atacama, I'm going to finish it. Yes, there's no doubt. Again, if nothing else happens. But Cocodona right now, I have no idea. I seriously wouldn't bet on myself if I'll finish it. I really don't know. I think at this point my gut feeling says 50-50 or maybe less than 50 chance that I'll finish it. But if there's a chance, I'm going for it.
Yeah, but the other point is actually when we speak to the professionals, like Sarah, for example, or Steve, who there's a race coordinator, a race director, of Cocodona. When we spoke to him about it, he said, actually, you're going to be in the perfect position for it because all the training and everything you've done has got you to the right place. Tell that to my head. So what you need to do is you need to do your mantras. You need to sit there and visualise it. But
anyway, guys,
be exciting anyway.
This episode was super fun. It was a little bit of nonsense and just setting off. You are setting me all off for an incredible adventure. Again, I cannot thank enough for everyone to follow all the journey. You've been here with us for a year and we will continue. Obviously, when I finish all this madness, I will miss you all a lot. I truly miss coming to the podcast and filming and talking to you all here. But it's going to be a nice break and let's
watch this
go
space
and continue what makes us ultra happy. Dancing in the pain cave.
with a struggle bus stop outside it.
Yeah, and the struggle bus just waiting there for me. All right, guys, have a wonderful couple of weeks without me. Don't party too much. Keep in touch, and remember to keep doing whatever makes you ultra happy.